Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Michelle, and today I'm so excited about this because we're talking about what it takes to be a full-time author, speaker, and coach who's making $1 million a year. Lots of people want to do this, but really don't know where to get started or how to continue on that journey. And so I'm excited to introduce to you today Melanie Warner. Melanie is one of those top media experts, and not just locally, but globally as well. She's an international keynote speaker, USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling author, and the CEO of Defining Moments Press. What Melanie has done with her coaching experience is just really remarkable, as she's coached thousands of subject matter experts who found their purpose while working with her and monetized their knowledge through writing books, being featured on media. And she does that with such great strategy. You really want to stick around to hear more of what Melanie does. So she's also owned magazines, newspapers, and she's got a great wealth of knowledge in this, having done it for about 30 years. And as a journalist, she writes about business and helping entrepreneurs on their journey to get into the top level of their industry. Her work has been featured in Fortune magazine and Entrepreneur, Forbes, CNN, and many, many more. So one of the newest, most vibrant features of what Melanie's doing is being the executive producer of the new hit PBS show called Recipe for Wellness. How many of you want to know what the recipe for wellness is? I know I do. So in this interview, you'll hear about the incredible work happening in the Recipe for Wellness program, which is in over 250 million homes. She's been hired and endorsed by great experts such as Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and the founders of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Jack Canfield, and many more notable people she's worked with. She's worked with companies and government organizations and C-suite executives and celebrities. So many people who don't just have influence, but also have impact. She works with authors and coaches and speakers to harness and leverage the power of media to build their personal brand and create a lasting legacy. Oh my gosh, I just want to know that because in this season, it's all about creating legacy. So, Melanie, welcome. I'm so excited to talk with you today. Please tell us what inspired you to get started.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gosh, I've always been a book nerd. When I was 15 years old, my dad grounded me. I got in trouble, as a teenager doing teenagery things. And my dad, when I was born, he was teaching Dale Carnegie classes. So he was kind of like that nerd, right?
Yeah.
I love my dad. He's my hero. But I just thought, why can't you ground me like everybody else? Why do you have to you know, make me not, I can't go to the mall. I can't do any of that fun stuff. I have to stay home and read this book. And he gave me this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, right?
Yes.
And I was like, I don't need this book. I got friends. This is so dumb. Like, I just want to go to the mall. I just want to like go do my life. And so he made me read every chapter. And then at the end, I had to memorize the mantra at the very end of each chapter. And even though I was so resistant, oh my gosh, Dr. Michelle, I was so resistant. Like I was the worst student. And in
Mm.
spite of that, the words still came in at the most impressionable time of my life. And it took me months to read this because I was fighting it tooth and nail, but I finally got through the book. And it really, his goal was to ground me, but it grounded me and it set me up for my entire life. All of a sudden, at a very young, impressionable age, I really discovered these incredible thought leaders like, Norman Vincent Peale and Think and Grow Rich and Dale Carnegie and W. Clement Stone. And then I just started getting mentors. So when I started my first business at 18 years old, I remember I had a mentor that said, listen to the people who have what you want. And ever since I've done that in my life, I've had great success. Where I failed miserably is every time I tried to go out and reinvent the wheel or do things on my own or try to figure things out. And it cost me millions of dollars to do it that way. And so my whole life has been, since that tender age of 15, has been thrust into the media world. I've always been under this spotlight in a way, or kind of like under a microscope, where everything I've done has been one to many, like working on the radio station, doing magazines, being a journalist, being on television, being on radio. All those things are very public facing. And I had this incredible um, like opportunity in school of life to be able to go and do live radio as a teenager and things like that. And I would talk to the audience and I would be like, okay, if I say this, they're going to respond this way. And it just became this incredible wealth of knowledge over 30 years of being in media before social media came around. And it just kind of opened doors to so many different things, and then became an author, a speaker, a coach, and made a lot of mistakes along the way for sure.
Wow. Aren't those the best lessons though? The mistakes and knowing what to do and what not to do. The lessons are life-changing. And from what I know about you, you pass those lessons on. So tell us, how do you do this? I know you have a system, right? And the system is the powerful secret sauce. And that system is called the seven-figure playbook. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I learned a lot along the way, and obviously from all my nerd friends here that have written all these books around me. And I've always just been fascinated with people and books. And just like, you go into a library and there's this wealth of knowledge and all these really smart people that wrote the books. Well, I've curated a people library, right? I love
Mm,
to call that. And we have experts in over 300 different industries. And what I
wow.
found, Michelle, is that when people wrote a book, and they became a best-selling author, guess what? Their speaker fees went up to 20,
Ah,
$50,000. So maybe they were less than 10 grand before as a corporate executive trainer or whatever. But when they had written a book as a best-selling author, now they're on the same level as a B-list celebrity, a pro athlete. Um, and I thought, this is crazy. Like, you can write a book in a few months, or you can go get a gold medal and try to win, or join the NBA. Like, that's a lot harder. But all of a sudden, the world sees it as this is something that very few people in the world will do, because 88% of people talk about writing a book and only 1% actually do. That was a New
mm.
York Times article that came out. I also did a story recently in Forbes about this and purpose. And it was crazy to think that, all these people that dedicated their whole lives to this one thing had to become the best in the world. When you are an expert, if you can plug into platforms like Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil, what they did with Oprah, they're credible experts in their own right. They plugged into this amazing network and community of Oprah, and the rest is history. And now you've got Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, which are two of the top 10 doctors in the world. Dr. Phil, we recently found out when he ran for office, is worth over $100 million.
Wow.
But it didn't always start out that way. So people look at all these gurus and they think, wow, they're so far, they're way up here. Like all of my mentors, like Oprah, Tony Robbins, so many of these people we mentioned. And I realized there's this process of how they got there. And what they did years ago doesn't work for us today. In fact, it's actually much easier, for us today as experts to actually catapult into these platforms. And if you have a book, especially a best-selling book, then you can monetize it better. But comparatively, if you have a book and you don't have a business on the back end, you're not going to make millions of dollars just selling, a $10 ebook or something like that. No one's crushing it with that. So, how do you put these pieces together? And so many times I see brilliant entrepreneurs, experts, coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, they're out there so busy doing all this stuff, and they're doing all the right things, but what's missing is the sequence. They're not doing it in the right order. And so I developed this seven-figure playbook where I learned how to make $1 million a year, leveraging books, media, podcasts, all of the things that that people want to get on these stages and do all these things, but there's an order that you do it in that makes it much more effective. You have greater impact and you create greater income for yourself.
Wow, you are dropping the value bombs today. Like, if the speakers really tuned in and took note of what you're saying, you gave the secret sauce about how to increase your speaker fees very strategically. So, it's from what I'm gathering here, it's really important to understand the system. Tell us what happens when you don't fully understand the system.
Well, I have helped thousands of people over 3 decades discover their true purpose, build and expand platforms from executives, relationship gurus, startups, military leaders, even governments, celebrities. And like we just produced this huge television show that's now nationwide on PBS at 250 million homes. And going through all of that, I realized that the thought leader game has changed drastically, and we did all this battle proven research. So I watch every day on the front lines when we had thousands of people that applied for our TV show. They weren't what we call asset ready, right? In their mind, they thought they were an expert, and some of them were, but they had no evidence. And Tony Robbins says success leaves clues. So for example, they had no photographs of them on stage. They had not recorded any of the things they've done. They hadn't been on television. Maybe they haven't really been featured in the media very much. They didn't know what to say or how to say it. They had no structure. They had no guidelines. And there really wasn't a lot out there that does that, that shows like people that are forward facing with the media what to say, how to say it. We work with government entities to do things like that as well. And so the people that don't learn this, they end up doing things the hard way, the expensive way. They do it backwards, upside down. It is extremely painful. They might feel frustrated, overwhelmed, or feel stuck and go, wait, how come no one knows this stuff? Why is no one
Right.
teaching this? And so when they try to figure these things out, it's not a logical approach like you think it would be, but it's not. And there's nobody out there really teaching each piece of this process to really help people do that.
Mm. So, if someone doesn't understand the system, they are more likely to go out of sequence, to not have the assets, to not have the to be asset ready, as you stated, in order to leverage all of these things well enough to get to the higher level, a seven figure. And that's why you created the system, which allows for the playbook to be created. So
Right.
brilliant, so much value, so grateful that you're doing this. So, what holds people back from all the things that you've observed and analyzed? What would you say holds people back?
Oh, fear 100%. I always say fear robs you of more than your ex ever could, you know? It holds us back. And the thing is when people if they don't get this, they're going to do things in the wrong order, the wrong way. Like I launched my first book. This is one of my books, but I launched my first book without a coaching program. And I didn't know that people were going to really see me as the expert. And so they were reaching out, and some of these parents were so desperate, like they were in grief mode, and they really needed resources, and I wasn't equipped for it, and I was terrified I was going to say the wrong thing, or make people go down this rabbit hole and spiral in their grief. And it was like a wake up call because I realized, wow, I should have become a coach first and then written the book, right? And I just wrote the book not knowing a lot of these things. I did my first master class. I was nervous. I didn't have tech skills. I didn't have a big team. Sometimes you don't know how to do something, but then you meet other people that do. And it was like I tried so many things that didn't work. I bought all the programs. I spent all the money. I followed every single step, and it was just like things just felt like, why is this not working for me?
Right.
And then I think a lot of people, the other thing that holds people back is they don't take action. So fear is number one. And number two, they get the content, they get the information, and they either don't actually take action or they don't follow the steps accordingly. And then they just stay stuck and overwhelmed.
Yeah. One thing kind of feeds into the other, right? Fear, not taking action, more fear, not taking action. So, Melanie, what else holds people back?
Uncertainty holds people back. Um, it's a paralysis of not wanting to make a mistake, living in fear of the unknown. This is where you talk about like the edge of your comfort zone. And I'm here to tell you firsthand, everything you want is just right outside of that comfort zone. And I think it was W. Clement Stone that said, it's not the enemy of wealth is delay. It's not like not knowing what to do, it's just putting it off. So uncertainty is a way to it creates people just kind of sitting there not doing something.
Yeah, no, so powerful. And loving that you are working with people on the vision of what can happen, but on the mindset of what keeps them back, what holds them back, and overcoming those things so they can really propel to the next level. So great information. I'm excited about this. I want to be one of the first people to sign up. What should people do next?
Well, oftentimes people want to get into the author, speaker, or coaching game, or maybe they're an existing business owner and they just want to level up and they want to add some of these elements to their existing income stream. And they just don't have the materials. They don't think people will pay for their knowledge. And we've really kind of taken care of all of that in this special challenge that we have coming up. It's our 7-figure playbook challenge. So in 5 days, you're going to get the entire playbook, step by step, everything that you need to create and orchestrate a 7-figure a year business as an author, speaker, coach, consultant, mentor, expert, like anybody that's like a business owner in over like 300 different industries. If you want to be the next Ed Milet, the next Tony Robbins, the next Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, Susie Orman, everybody that you see out there that is the go-to expert in their industry, these are the steps they took in the very beginning, and we have accelerated that to compress decades. So you don't have to spend 20 years and millions of dollars like I did doing it the wrong way, the expensive way. So we make it as simple as possible. And we're going to walk you through the steps of each piece of this system over a 5 day period. It's only an hour a day, it's not all day, right? So I would say take the time to come in and really listen to what we've learned from the hard way. Like we've learned this by working with some of the greatest thought leaders on the planets, and we've squeezed the juice out of it into this like 1 hour condensed version, so you get like the fast track to know like this is like the fast pass at Disneyland. I don't want to spend years doing it. This is how I'm going to
Right.
learn it. So um anybody that's saying I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to write about, I don't know what to speak about. I know I have something to say and I want it so bad, but I don't know what it is. Does that sound familiar? Then this is the time to go register. You can look at the link below here and save your spot for our 5 day challenge.
So good. I am delighted to be on this journey with you as we walk people through the 5 day experience. So, authors, speakers, experts, you're out there, you're saying, nobody's ever shown me the complete blueprint. I don't know the playbook to get to 7 figures a year with my expertise. Never say that again, knowing that this challenge is available in 5 days. You'll walk away with everything you need to know to execute that plan to get there. So don't delay. Go now, click on the link, register for the 5 day challenge, and we'll see you on the inside.
And we're going to show you how to do it fast. Like that's the key is to do it really, really fast. So we're going to show you how Kim, she got her book written, was featured in NBC, attended a party in Los Angeles at the Emmys, and got asked to speak at one of the top companies in the world all in the same month because she took the time to create these assets and came to one of these challenges just like you guys are doing. And then after the training, she implemented everything that she learned and started getting these experiences happening like really, really quickly. So if you want the tools to help you get clarity on how to put these pieces together, that's the framework we're going to be talking about. And I know that because we can do this virtually, we would love to invite you guys. And here's the thing, instead of it costing you $1,000 or more, my day rate as a coach is $100,000 a day. As a speaker and a coach, that's what I make when I work with people privately. So if you're going to get this hour of my time, I'd like to offer you an extra hour if you want to join me in VIP, and it's going to give you a chance to kind of pick my brain a little bit. Is that a good deal? So instead of $1,000, you can come to the challenge for free. But if you want to upgrade to the VIP experience, it's only $47. So when you register, you're going to also receive a private copy of my best-selling book, How to Write Your Best-Selling Book in 8 Weeks or Less and Make a Profit, even if no one's ever heard of you. You're going to also get free lifetime recordings of the entire challenge and the VIP hour. So that's really, really helpful. And you're going to get this extra hour with me and some of our very, very special guests, even a couple of people you might recognize their names and some of the big projects they're working on. They're going to be coming into the room and talking about exactly how that framework worked. And this is the same for like Hollywood movie writers, screenwriters, authors, speakers. These are people doing some pretty impressive things. Like we're talking 9-figure and even $1 billion projects that are going to be on our stage that day, like that week, working with you guys. So get behind the scenes with us because we reduced that price. Instead of $1,000, it's only 47 bucks. And in this time of economic uncertainty, we are looking for leaders who truly want to make an impact. And so I will tell you, there are more opportunities for speakers and authors and coaches and mentors than there are people out there trained to do it. And so we have this mission at our company where we want to curate more hope dealers, right? We've got enough dope dealers out there. Amen. So let's find a way to make this work. We're going to address some of the biggest issues that thought leaders are facing today and how these 21st century tools and methodologies will truly help you help other people. So come to the VIP. I'm going to give you that special bonus again, that $47. So what happens, you click the link below, register for the challenge, and then you're going to have an ability to upgrade to VIP. You just pop in there, upgrade to VIP, and you'll start to get the invites, confirmations, and be able to come that extra hour every day and really be able to ask questions and pick my brain and some of our special guests. So, um, if you click the link below, you're going to see some of the other special gifts we're going to give you. And you get it all today for $47. So we have limited spots in VIP since we only have so much time to actually answer the questions in that hour. So you can go to the link below and register. And can't wait to see you guys there. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Michelle, and for being here as well. And look forward to seeing you all in the challenge.
Absolutely. So good. You know you're a VIP. Get that VIP ticket, and we'll see you there. Melanie, have a great evening. Love to have you in this interview. And we look forward to seeing everybody coming into the 5-day challenge, right?
Yep. Click the link below, you guys. Can't wait to see you there. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.